InfoWars meteorologist Kim Adams, first at 4. We've got a beautiful day out there. Temperatures are in the 60s, and we're not done there. Tomorrow's going to be even warmer. We'll talk about it coming up.
Also first at 4, criminal sexual conduct charges in Macomb County, the allegations against a church youth leader. And we are tracking signs of resistance in the UAW contract vote at General Motors. What we are hearing this afternoon about why some workers are saying no. And here's Paula.
Listen, we know it's a huge deal with any 20-year-old moving into their very own first apartment. It's something entirely different when you have developmental disabilities. I'm going to take you to a new kind of college teaching independent living.
Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News First at 4 starts now.
Good afternoon. I'm Karen Drew. First at 4, a church youth leader over in Macomb County is facing some charges this afternoon of criminal sexual conduct, accused of grooming a minor. Investigators say Louis Mendoza was arraigned this morning on a few CSC charges. Deputies started investigating after parents complained their child was a victim and given marijuana prior to contact. The 29-year-old suspect is from Clinton Township, being held on $250,000 cash bond this afternoon. Now, just a few hours ago, an official at Stony Church over on 26 Mile in Washington confirmed Mendoza worked at that church, but wouldn't comment further. We are working on new reaction, and we'll share that tonight at 5. UAW workers at General Motors are facing a bit of a cliffhanger when it comes to approval of their tentative new contract. The final tally is yet to come, but many workers are voting against the agreement. We are hearing many longtime employees feel the contract is weighted toward newer members, and raises at the top don't do enough to deal with current inflation. Business editor Rob Maloney digging deeper into those numbers tonight at 5. By the way, we could see final results for GM tomorrow. Right now, the results are more encouraging for the deals at Ford and Stellantis, which seem likely to be ratified. We should know those totals by the end of the week. The Lincoln Park Public School District is beefing up its police presence after the arrest of a student found with a gun and a knife in a backpack. We've got a copy of the letter, which says a parent reported an incident off school property where that student brandished a weapon. Resource officers over at Lincoln Park High found that student with weapons, also ammunition in a backpack. The student said they were for protection. That child now faces mandatory expulsion and possible criminal charges. The district and police say they don't believe there's any threat toward the district. New at 4, we are learning more about this deadly crash over on Rochester Road that left one woman dead. Sky 4 was over the scene during the investigation near Auburn and Hamlin. Deputies say the driver of the Dodge Ram partially crossed into the northbound lane into a head-on collision with the Saturn Vue, and that car hit the Jeep Wrangler. 33-year-old Tara Baldwin of Roseville was driving the Saturn and died from her injuries. The 2 other drivers remain hospitalized this afternoon. They're listed in stable condition. The investigation continues. Deputies say it looks like distracted driving is a factor. We'll keep you posted. As we head into your first forecast, let's say hello to Ann Arbor this afternoon. We sure hope that you're enjoying this comfortable fall weather, because we know it won't last forever. Kim Adams standing by with an update. We are good for tonight, though, right, Kim?
We are good for tonight. In fact, today we were only supposed to be in the upper 50s, which it is in a few spots, but we cracked 60 degrees out at the airport, 62 downtown, 63 in Pontiac, 60 in Monroe. It's 64 degrees right now in Howell. A lot warmer than it was yesterday. In fact, 11 degrees warmer right now than it was 24 hours ago in Pontiac. 10 degrees warmer in Monroe City and Mount Clemens, 9 degrees warmer in Port Huron and in Howell. At the bus stop tomorrow morning, still cold though. We've got temperatures that will go down into the mid to upper 30s tonight, but we go right back to the 60s tomorrow afternoon, and we'll have some gusty winds to go along with that warm weather. Rain arrives on Friday. We'll talk about timing of that rain in a few minutes.
All right. Thank you, Kim. The battle inside Gaza's largest hospital could be a turning point in the war with Hamas and the war for public opinion as well. Israel under pressure right now to prove its claims militants have been using the hospital as a command center. Kimberly Gill in the newsroom tracking the very latest for us. Kim?
Hi, Karen. Good afternoon. It's challenging to confirm exactly what's happening in the middle of a war, but Israeli troops have gone into the Shifa hospital in Gaza City, and much of the video we see comes from either Israel or the Gaza Health Ministry controlled by Hamas. So independently verifying what we're seeing is really very difficult. But let's take a look at some of the video from inside that hospital. It's from yesterday, and you can see there the halls filled with dust, debris on the ground, holes in the walls. Patients were suffering for days without power and other basic necessities. Today, Israel's Defense Force released video, it says, shows troops bringing baby food and medical aid to the hospital as they pushed inside. Israel can't confirm if the aid was accepted by hospital staff. It claims Hamas uses the facility as a command center and the patients as human shields. So health officials and Hamas deny those claims. Today, Israel's military leaders talked about the operation and its goals.
Based on intelligence information and an operational necessity, IDF forces are carrying out a precise and targeted operation against Hamas in a specified area in the Shifa hospital. The IDF is conducting a ground operation in Gaza to defeat Hamas and rescue our hostages. Israel is at war with Hamas, not with the civilians in Gaza.
Neither side is reporting any fighting inside the hospital. However, a health ministry spokesperson says patients, women, and children have been terrified as soldiers ransack parts of the hospital complex. Israel is allowing a small amount of fuel to be delivered to relief workers to bring more aid into Gaza. About 2/3 of the territory's people have fled their homes. Many are stuck in facilities run by the United Nations. Residents say bread is scarce. Families have to cook on wood fires for lack of fuel, and running water has been out for weeks. And you'll remember the war erupted after Hamas attacked Israel, killing about 1,200 people. That was back on October 7th. About 240 hostages were taken that day and are still being held captive. We'll bring you any new information coming up on Local 4 News at 5. And NBC Nightly News will have in-depth coverage tonight at 6:30 right here on Local 4. For now, though, Karen, we'll send it back to you.
All right. Thank you, Kim. Today, President Joe Biden is meeting Chinese leader Xi Jinping near San Francisco, trying to repair relations between the two countries. The two leaders shook hands just a short time ago after the Chinese president arrived on the grounds of a California estate. They are expected to cover a wide range of issues, including China's growing relations with Russia and Iran. President Biden calls the meeting a chance to get Washington and Beijing back on a normal course of communicating. A new college is being launched tonight. It's aimed at teaching disabled adults how to live independently. It's a huge undertaking that will impact the lives of the parents as much as it will the students. Paula Tutman is in Troy for us this afternoon, where two students are really busy getting ready for tonight's big announcement. Tell us more.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I love this story. Okay, so first let me introduce you. This is Aaron, and that's Amanda right there. And you're right. They're getting ready for their great big evening. They really are shining examples of how disability can really be changed into ability when you have the right training and support.
Excuse me, Aaron, I don't want to hit you.
For Amanda and Aaron, this is the deep end of life. Just 2 months ago, they lived with their parents. But today they have, well, I guess what you could call water wings, as they learn to tread water and then safely float as independent adults.
Are you going to make them like folded in half, or are you going to make them one on top of another?
Folded in half.
For many, many decades, adults with developmental disabilities had limited options. Group homes, staying with parents, adult foster care. But with On My Own of Michigan, which is launching a 2-year intensive program called Independence College, adults with developmental disabilities are learning the intricacies of life as independent adults.
So we created this program not only to give adults with developmental disabilities a college experience, but also to help bridge that gap between their school experience and the worlds of independent living, and make that transition smooth and safe and, most importantly, possible.
This can be terrifying for parents, loved ones, and yes, the students.
For a few months, it's been very challenging at first, but at the same time, it's kind of like good for me because I want to live independently.
Aaron feels much the same way.
I've been taking a shower and I'm doing dishes.
The kitchen can be a labyrinth of danger.
How about we keep it at medium?
Emily, an instructor and director of education, built this 2-year curriculum. She coaches the students through everything as benign as Aaron, who says she doesn't want to drink water, she wants wine.
You have cherries to make Shirley Temples.
Emily quickly investigates and finds out Aaron likes to pretend it's wine.
Right now, we're drinking water.
Minefield averted. She also teaches the fragility of independence, like knowing dangerous chemicals commonly stored in the home.
What about these, Aaron? These are tiny. Are these safe to eat? No.
They learn to not just open the door to just anyone.
Okay, so you can say, who is it?
Who is it?
Yeah, there's a lot to learn there. So right now, Independence College is private pay. It's $40,000 per year with a 2-year commitment that pays for rent, food, individualized instruction, as well as expert support services. Hey guys, just for context, when you really take a look at that, that's actually very close to what's paid to live in a group home. And once they get accredited, there'll actually be possibilities for financial aid and a little more support to make it more accessible. But right now, scholarships are really based on, donor support and, possibly grants or donations.
And those lessons on independence, priceless for sure. All right. Thank you, Paula, for sharing.
Priceless.
Yeah, most
Yeah.
definitely.